to be trying a delicious recipe I found for stuffed green bell peppers. They've got feta cheese in them, rice, green onions, olive oil, some seasonings. They sound really good, really easy, and healthy on top of all that. So if you want some stuffed green peppers, make them with me. First step is preheat your oven to 400 degrees. Next, take a cup of water, put it in a medium saucepan over high heat. Then, once it starts to boil, we're going to cook some rice in it. Once you have your cup of water to a boil, you need to add half a cup of arborio rice to it. Now, arborio rice is a shorter grain rice. In my case, I'm using sushi rice, which will make it turn out a little bit differently, but I'm doing it to save money. So half a cup of arborio rice. Then you want to immediately reduce the heat and cover. If you're not familiar with this type of cooking, it's called simmering. It's when you lower the heat and typically cover. Helps lock in the flavor, or in this case, cook rice. So we're going to simmer it for 20 minutes. While the rice is cooking, you're going to want to half and seed your 2 green bell peppers. I'd start by cutting off the stem. And then just, well, actually this middle part you can pull out. You can use a spoon or your hand. Okay, then just cut it in half. There we go, those 2 look good. There we go. 4 halves of green bell peppers. Nicely seeded. Next, you're going to want to thinly slice 2 green onions. Make sure they come apart. Oops. You're also going to want to dice a tomato. Now that your rice has been simmering for 20 minutes, we're going to remove it from heat. Remember to turn off your stove. Then we need to grease a baking dish. Now take your cut peppers and put them cut side down on your baking dish. Now we're going to bake them in our preheated oven for 20 to 25 minutes, or until soft and they start to turn brown. Now take a medium skillet and put it over medium-high heat, and then put a tablespoon of olive oil in it. In my case, I'm using extra virgin olive oil. The first thing we're going to add to this is the green onion slivers. And it says to add a teaspoon of dried basil leaves, a teaspoon of Italian seasoning, which I'm just I'm gonna kind of guess on that. Some salt. And pepper. We're going to cook this for 2 to 3 minutes. Make sure to stir it around. Alright, after 2 to 3 minutes of cooking the green onions, put in your diced tomatoes. And we're going to cook these for 5 minutes. Once your tomatoes have been cooking for 5 minutes, it's said to spoon in your rice and cook that till it's thoroughly cooked, nice and warm. So take your arborio rice, in my case it's sushi rice, get it in there. And just stir this around till you feel like your rice is pretty warm. Which isn't going to be too long. Once you feel as though your rice is sufficiently warmed, remove your pan from heat. And then you need half a cup of crumbled feta, which is 4 ounces. Then you're going to want to stir that in. And at this point, your green bell pepper halves should be almost done with their 20 to 25 minutes. So stir in your feta. Now what you need to do is remove your peppers from the oven. See, they're starting to look soft and brown. And I'm going to use a fork to flip them over. And it says now what you need to do is spoon your mixture into each one. Do it as best you can. I'm a little sloppy. Now what it's said to do is put this back in your oven for 5 more minutes, just to let everything cook a little bit more. Put mine back in the oven for 5 minutes. Alright, they've been cooking for 5 minutes. Let's get them out. They look good. They look very good. It says serve immediately, so I'm going to grab one of these for myself to eat and store the rest in the fridge. And now, the best part of any recipe. Trying some. This is really good. It's really good. The feta cheese is nice and melty. The spices give it a good kick along with the green bell pepper, the green onion. It's got a very zesty flavor to it, but it's not too overpowering. It's nice, warm, hearty, easy to make, and delicious. So please, Try this recipe.